When I was younger, about 9, 10 years old, my sister found this cat that was in my neighbor's bushes. She just, let him do his thing, but she would like give him something to eat, and eventually, he was like a stray. So eventually, he became more part of our family, and um, he would come in and we would, feed him, get him cat food and stuff like that. We called him O'Malley, the alley cat. He was a raccoon cat, I think, because he looked like a raccoon. He had big fluffy tail, big fluffy cat. He was pretty rough around the edges. He had smoker's meow, and he'd like that, and he had this chipped canine tooth on one tooth on one side. He had one of his ears was cut halfway through, um, completely off from like some animal fight. We found him like with the little piece of his ear attached to the other ear, and it was just like a little piece of meat holding it on, and we decided just to cut it off with some scissors. But yeah, he freaked out when we did that, when we cut it off with the scissors. But he was a good cat. He stayed with our family for quite a while. Later on, maybe like not too many, like maybe 2 years later, my sister found another stray called Melligan, and she was a orange tabby cat. She was a house cat at one time. She was declawed. What happened is we found her in the parking lot. It was like freezing cold out there, a really cold winter's day. She got home, and we found that she had a lot of frostbite, and we took care of her, and she became part of the family as well. It took some time for O'Malley to get used to her, though. They would get into big fights, and it would be like a cartoon when they got in fights. You would just see nothing but like hair flying and just like a paw here and like a leg there, and it's just like puffs of smoke. It's just like a cartoon. But then there was these moments that they were just like they loved each other. They would lick each other. Like it was always Milligan though. She was the one that really found her way into O'Malley's heart, and they became good friends. There'd be times where the cats would, meow at the windows, and we'd open up the windows, and they would come in the middle of the night, and or there was this one time where O'Malley and Milligan, it was like a winter night, and my sister heard some scratching at the window, or heard something, heard O'Malley meowing, and she kept hearing it. It was like outside, upstairs somewhere, and she with the snow covered roof and everything, she got out the ladder and she climbed up on top of the roof and found O'Malley and Milligan inside the chimney of our house, just keeping warm. And we took them out, and they're all full of soot and stuff, and we let them stay inside, because it was really cold. But they did lots of funny things. A funny story. One thing that Melly would do for my father, or for us, I guess, as a family, because we would feed him, was he would return the favor. If he caught a bird or a mouse, he would put it on our doorstep, and like as an offering to us. And so one time I was just hanging outside, and I saw Melly walking by with a bird in his mouth, and he puts it on the doorstep, on the welcome mat, and walks away. And then I see Milligan come by walking, sees the bird, and in one gulp, and I'm not kidding you, it must have been like within a few seconds, she ate that whole bird. She did like a few crunches, a crunch, crunch, and a gulp, and all that was left of that bird was one leg on the ground, and she was about to eat it, and I stopped her. I'm like, don't eat the leg. Leave it be. So, yeah, those cats were pretty cool. When I graduated, I was going up to Maine to live with my brother. We were starting up a little business, and a little comic book and a gaming business, and so I had to leave O'Malley and Milligan by themselves, and when I got back, like about a year and a half later, I found out that Milligan passed away, and O'Malley disappeared. No one knows where he went. So, but it was kind of interesting. Like, those cats pretty much stayed with me pretty much my whole like adolescent life. It's like right when I left the house, and like my sister and my brother left the house, and I left the house, and it was like they decided to leave. They decided to leave us, but we still remember them a lot. We think about them sometimes and talk about them at family get-togethers. We'll talk about all the different things they did, and it's hard for me to remember all of the things like offhand, because it's when talking to your brothers and siblings that you remember things, and they snap in your head and you talk about them. But those are a few things that I remember offhand that I thought were funny, and I always remember those cats.